And welcome back to Late Night Love. Tonight we are sitting in that quiet space where the world finally stops buzzing and the real questions come out. The ones about trust, about fear, about the strange ways life can unravel, and even the stranger ways we stitch it back together. From marriages shaken by conspiracy rabbit holes to parents trying to breathe through exhaustion to young adults stumbling through intimacy, identity, and the awkwardness of wanting to be wanted. This episode is about the moments that make us humans. So pour something warm, settle in the soft glow of the evening, and let's talk about the messy, beautiful, complicated truth about being alive.
Yes.
Isn't that true? We're
Yeah.
early this week, by the way, instead of late.
Yes, we are.
So let's figure that one out.
Well, I woke up and because I need a nap, okay, before the show. And
a nap. You go to bed at like 4.
yeah, but I'm up at 2.
Yeah. If you go to bed at 4, that's gonna happen. Yeah.
I get like 10 hours sleep, man. I really which is my optimum.
All right. Mine's like 6 or 7.
Because it's genetic, man. We are legendary for our naps. Yeah. My late son-in-law, he said he called them a snap. It's not a nap. It's sleep and nap.
Uh-huh. Well, I can hibernate for a few days,
Uh-huh.
but that's about it. Once or twice a year, hibernate for a few days.
You need that.
Yeah.
You're overdue for one, aren't you?
I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Okay, as long as you're not feeling it.
I think I had one not a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Anyway, talk about world getting, complicated and messy and off balance and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and how we cope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we sleep for a couple days.
Sleep for a few days. That's all.
Turn it all off.
Turn it all off. World keeps going, but you're sleeping. You don't care.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of that. All right. So we are going to start off here in our opening segment. When the world feels a bit off of balance, life has a way of throwing us into situations we never quite feel prepared for. The pressures of work, the strains of relationships shifting, the unexpected moments that test our patience, our honesty, and our resilience. In this segment, we are stepping into the everyday chaos that shapes us, the choices we wrestle with, the boundaries we try to hold, and the small victories that keep us going. So let's take a look at the parts of life that challenge us and the parts that quietly teach us who we really are. All right, Lubby. So let's just kind of dive right in tonight.
All right. Here's a common issue lately: interviewing while employed and stressed about making excuses.
Well, why are you making excuses? Is the question.
Well, he doesn't want them to know he's looking for another job because then then they might fire him. He's afraid they might fire him.
Well, if you're good at your job, the real thing, they might try to keep you, offer you a raise, better promotion, better title, parking spot, depending upon your, maybe they can't offer you much of a raise, but they can offer you better working conditions, better hours. That's assuming you're good at your job, right? So I wouldn't be afraid. You now have this thing called leverage. Let them know. Unless you're bad at your job, then yeah, you probably want to keep it on the down low. You're just trying to get out of there. You hate the place. And yeah. All right. Keep it on the down low until you're out. All right. But,
what are some good excuses? Your pet.
Still making one. Just, you need a day off.
Off.
Lots of places have PTO. Call in sick that day. Yeah. Just call in sick. You've got the flu. You call in sick. Schedule a couple interviews over a couple days and take a long weekend. That kind of thing. schedule it or not. Doesn't matter. A lot of places has PTO now, so you don't really have to make an excuse. You just take the day off
Okay.
or the half a day off or
Mhm.
whatever. So stop making excuses and just say you need the time off. If it's a place where you need to make excuses, you probably don't want to work there anyway, which is why you're looking for another job. So, but don't rule out the possibility of it being leverage into getting you better working conditions in some form where you currently are.
Okay.
They may want to keep you,
Yeah.
and they don't know that you're, now you're forcing their hand. Hey, we're all for you. What are they offering you? We'll match it. Oh, you better hours? Sure, why not? We'll give you what time you want to start? 10? Yeah, sweet. You're leaving at 6:30, 7? Yeah, okay. That works for us. Depending upon the working.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My wife fell deep into conspiracy theories and online hate groups. Is there any saving our marriage? She's going through it. This doesn't mean that she's, you know, totally into this forever.
Well, one, if you look at recent history, not all conspiracy theories turn out to be theories. Some of them turn out to have kernels of truth.
Uh-huh.
When people try to fill gaps in kernels of truth, it's going to get a little weird at times. But there's kernels of truth in things. I won't dive into some of the stuff that's been released lately, but some things that were conspiracy theories had grains of truth in them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one person's hate group is another person's freedom fighter.
I have to admit something.
So,
I have a question.
yeah.
Is this where she's getting her news? Because I don't trust news.
No. Well, here's the thing. If something's main goal appears to be making you have an emotional reaction rather than simply telling you what happened, that's a good signal to turn it off. Because once they've got you thinking emotionally, they can get you thinking how they want. So if someone's just telling you the facts, it may make you have an emotional reaction,
Mhm.
but they're not telling it in a way to entice that emotional reaction.
Mhm.
You're just having whatever your natural emotional reaction is being.
Mhm.
But if they started off with emotionally charged language,
Mhm.
then they're not just telling you the truth. They're painting the picture for you.
So he should talk to her.
Just offer her different perspectives. Right? Here's the thing. When someone is, especially on the early part of this journey, it's the more you try to kind of force another reaction, it's like you get equal and opposite reactions. So the harder you try to keep her
Mhm.
from it, the
Mhm.
harder she's gonna go down because now it's feeding into the conspiracy theory. Now you've joined the conspiracy theory. And so essentially what you want to do is pat her on the head. That's nice, dear. And just go on about your day. As long as the rest of your life is all right, it's not that big of a deal. And let it run its course. These things, generally speaking, run their course. Most people reach a spot where they go, oh, this stops making sense. And then they go back and question everything. They go, how was I so dumb? And it's because we're human and we get emotionally charged in things. And that emotion leaves us to wrong conclusions or only examining half of a situation. It's very human.
Can I share something?
Sure.
So I'm on Facebook a lot. That's, believe it or not, that's where I get my news. And
Facebook's where I get my advertising.
that's where I get and keep in touch with the world. And hey man, it's really instantaneous. So but I was I subscribe to a couple of these so-called hate groups, you know. They're people pushing the truth in my mind, and
like I said, one person's hate group is another person's freedom fighter.
yeah, exactly. But I noticed I would be upset if I would take dives and I'd sit for 20 minutes and scroll,
Mhm.
I was getting into thought loops.
Yeah.
My mood, what I was upset all day for like hours afterwards. So I do 2-minute scrolls. That's enough. I scroll pretty fast. That's enough. I can catch anything, any quick update. And then that's it. And quit reposting because I'm not going to change anybody's mind.
Yeah.
Why
bother?
But every once in a while there's a really good one, and then I'm like, I'm expressing myself.
Well, there's this guy I follow on YouTube, and I don't necessarily always agree with him, but he's old Army, intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
and so he says when he looked at some of these recent events, he says a third of the traffic was from bot farms or foreign actors. It wasn't even natural. It was inorganic reactions. So a third of what you're seeing on both sides, because they don't care. The same foreign actors playing both sides of the fence. Because the goal isn't they don't care about the event itself. They care about stirring up the discord. They care about causing, political fracturing. They don't care about the actual event itself. So they'll play both sides of the fence, feed disinformation to both sides, or highly one-sided information works better than disinformation specifically. You only tell a very narrow sliver of story that makes one side look good and the other side look terrible. Both sides do the same thing, and everybody's now upset and has their own complete version of
the event
that from that narrow perspective is true. It's kind of like that Obi-Wan Kenobi from a certain point of view. I was telling you the truth from a certain point of view. Well, yeah, from this point of view, but you got to open it up, and the truth is much murkier and and much more complicated, and you can still have the same emotional reaction while still going, yeah, but it's not that simple. It's not as simple as we all think it is, because life is rarely that simple. So part of my instinct is to let her go through it, because she's going to go through it one way or the other. Just don't necessarily participate in it. Essentially do the teenager thing, pat them on their head as they go through their journey. 9 times out of 10, they come out the other side relatively quickly. Just hope you're not the 10th. Like that 10th dentist. 9 out of 10 dentists say, who the freak is that 10th dentist?
I love your mind.
All right. So what's next?
Oh, drug screen coming. Help. Come clean. Weed. Interviewed for a place. They want to hire her, and they're like mentioned, oh, by the way, we need you to take a drug test.
Well, it's going to depend on where and what it's for, because not all places care about things. If you're in California, Colorado, these kind of things, and unless you're
they don't care.
Unless you're doing heavy machinery or something, they don't care. Yes, I suppose you can make the phone call. Again, this is going to depend where it is, but there are ways to defeat those drug screening tests. We've all had to do it back in the days.
Yeah,
at some time or another. So there's those options as well. I'm not going to
delve into those. You can go on Chat GPT and they'll tell you.
Well, yeah, probably not Chat GPT, but you can probably use Grok, one of the less censored ones.
Okay.
To get answers to that, or just ask your friends. Most people ask your Gen X friends. I mean, I could tell you off camera. I just can't tell you now.
So send us a message at Late Night Love US.
Yeah. Send us that's the thing. Send us a message. We'll send it back. There's a handful of ways. In some ways, it's harder now than it is before, because they can test for the things that test. Like we used to have a golden seal or something back in the day. It doesn't work anymore. As if it only worked half the time before anyway. But now they can test for things like that. So now, do they test for things like that? Probably not for weed anymore. They're looking for harder drugs, and oftentimes these drug screens, They're just so they can check some box on the IRS form so they can get some tax break. Drug-free America stuff back from the 80s that's still in the tax code.
Stop it.
I'm telling you. That's why they do it. Is to check some checkbox. You know, how much do they actually care? You're gonna have to kind of figure out. Like in California and places, businesses don't care. They couldn't be able to hire anybody. Colorado is the same way. You know, those places who've been legal marijuana for a long time.
Mhm.
Half your workforce is stoned. So it's what are you gonna do? Now, if you're operating heavy machinery and things like that, different standards apply. But somehow half of them are stoned or high half the time. So there's ways around it. So there's my answer to that.
Okay.
Okay.
What's one work habit that actually made your job easier? And what I would do at the end of the day, I would take 5 minutes at the end of my workday and make a quick I'd review my calendar and I would write down the main tasks that I absolutely had to get for the next day and that I was going to tackle. And that really made a lot less stress for me in the morning, getting ready for work, worried about the day. Nope, I don't have to worry what I need to do because I already got it written down at work. All I have to do is focus on getting to work safely, you know?
Okay. Well, here's it depends. Back when I worked on an assembly line, one thing we learned, or warehouses, is do one thing that makes the next guy's job easier. And next thing you know, everybody's job is easier.
Mm.
So that actually works when you're part of a team. You do
Mhm.
something to make the next guy's job easier. And if everybody's doing that, magically everybody has an easier job. More recently is my email gets read by my AI agent, and it
Mhm.
goes through my emails and tells me what I've missed, what I haven't,
Stop it.
what's important, what isn't. It's not always correct. You have to kind of know what's in your email box, but I can sit there and have it go through my email box, tell me what's important for the day, and it's pretty good at going through my email box, telling me what's pretty good for the day. It's a little scary, but I'm Gen X. I'm flexible. What do I care if the machine eats me? Yeah, yeah, it'll happen.
Matrix.
Yeah, but, what is it, Tron? I'll get sucked into the Matrix. What do I care?
Tron.
It's all good. Speaking of all good, though, there is one thing we forgot to do. We forgot to let you know that you can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. You can find us on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. But you can also find us on KUBU 965 on Live 365. And we also have an app now, by the way, on that.
Ooh.
So you can go download that app. I'll find a thing, and next week we'll put a QR code or something, or a link in something. We'll figure that out.
Nice.
I'll stop being lazy, maybe. I'm not lazy. I'm just busy. Oh, nothing's going to happen this week. I'm going to LA next week. All right, which means we might not have a show next week. Depends when I get back.
Okay. We might not have a show, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be driving back from LA next Sunday.
Are you driving alone?
No, Summer and Anthony are coming with me.
Good.
Me and Summer are swapping driving. We're sharing driving.
Good.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. I accidentally had a baby in my friend's car. Now her husband and she won't speak to me. How do I fix this? She offered to have the car detailed cleaned.
There's nothing she can do. Just her friends are being unreasonable. These things happen. If you can't deal with it, and these things happening in life, you probably shouldn't be going through life. I hope her friend and husband don't have kids, or when they do, I hope they have red Kool-Aid incidents. I guess it was red Gatorade. Just don't feed Anthony anything red. Is all we learned if we're going on a road trip.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's something about red. You could feed him any other color. It was something about maybe the red dye they were using.
Yeah.
It didn't sit with. He gets motion sickness, right? But it seemed like only the red ones triggered the the unstoppable response.
Okay, you know what's disturbing is this. You actually probably had to do this several times
Yeah.
before it finally. Hey, this is red every time.
Yeah. Let's stop with the
So
red.
what's that? 3?
Maybe more. It's hard to know. We had to go to Fresno a lot, so it's hard to know. Her friends are being unreasonable, quite frankly. There's nothing for her to fix. Her friend's just gonna have to get over it. Kind of my feeling. I mean,
What kind of friends are they? I'd be showing the car off. Look what happened in here.
yeah, but you're a little different, so that's not necessarily a good barometer.
I'd insist they name the child after the car, Mazda.
I mean, now for me, I don't know. I probably wouldn't take their money detailing the car. Hey, it's your baby's gift. There you go. It's your first gift.
There you go.
But I don't understand how they can be upset. So they're just being.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would have some insight.
No, I can get how they could be personally upset about it at home, but you would never say anything or do anything about it, and the offer to pay for it, even if you're
It's not like she decided, where do I want to have my baby?
Now, did she have the whole baby thing, or is she in the car? The water broke, and so
she was in the car. The water broke. Baby just boom.
Oh, so she had one of them rapid labor things.
Yes, she did.
Oh well, hell, there's nothing to. You can't help that. Nature's nature, man.
She didn't know she was in labor. She felt a little different, she said, but she didn't know she was in labor.
Some women, man, what is it with some of these? Some women pop them out like popping a bake up thing out of an oven. And others have 3 days of labor. What the hell?
Like making a turkey.
Good Lord. I don't. Anyway,
we don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think her friends are being unreasonable, and I don't think there's anything for her to fix.
Yeah,
I think she's.
I know.
I think she's done her part, and
we're sorry you lost a friend.
Yeah.
That wasn't your fault,
and
you didn't do anything wrong.
And here's the thing: it could be timing, could be coincidence. They may be busy. They may have other things to do, and just haven't gotten back to you yet. Lives can get like that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Somebody's grandmother died the day after, right? And now they're dealing with that, and that's now more important.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's strange things happen. So, but short of that.
Now, if you were my mother, you'd send a letter.
Well, okay, but I don't know I just don't think it's worth the effort. Yeah, they'll come back when they're ready.
She wants closure.
Yeah,
I think she's not going to get it.
Closure's a myth. All you have to do is close your own door. All right.
How do you deal with a wannabe manager at work?
You ignore them. That's nice, Bob. See you later, Sally. Just do your thing. I mean, if they're really annoying, I suppose you can put them in their place. You're gonna do no good. I mean, suppose you could mention to probably you both have the same boss, I'm assuming. And she just thinks she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could tell, can you get Sally to shut the hell up? I said, Bob to back off or whatever it is. You could go that route, but I just ignore him. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the emotional energy. Yeah. Lions don't worry about what hyenas are doing. Just swat them away when they're. Yeah. Don't waste the energy. That's my suggestion.
I don't know what else you can do.
Well, again, you go back to the every action has an equal and opposite reaction theory, and so the more reaction you have, the more reaction they're going to have, and you're going to create this goofy ass power struggle. So the way you de-escalate all that is to give it exactly the power it has. Absolutely nothing. Right? That's the and if it's really annoying and it's bothering you that much that you can't ignore it, you go to your boss and say, they're being annoying. Can you tell them to leave me the hell alone?
Yeah.
And you just leave it that. Don't make a huge deal out of it. Just yeah. You don't want to don't create, you know, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So don't have nothing.
Mhm.
You get to break physics. Cool. Okay. What's last?
Last one. How do you deal with coworkers you don't trust? Where how your tasks overlap and stuff, you rely on them for their part so you can do your job, you know?
Unfortunately, you just learn to double check their work because
Yeah. It makes more work for you, it does, we're sorry.
well, actually, no, but double checking the work now makes less work for you in the long run.
It does
So,
well, true.
so you double check their work. And, I suppose if you really wanted to be annoying about it, it's, when you send in your corrections or whatever, you make sure everybody know that these were the corrections you had to make. You don't do it if there's one correction every now and again. That's fine. Everybody has,
Yeah,
everybody does that. But if you have
but
to,
if a lot.
yeah, if there's a lot of holes or a lot of gaps,
Mhm,
then you document those.
yeah.
But yes, so the real question is how do you deal with coworkers whose work you don't trust, and then you just don't trust it. You double check it because you've got no other choice. Should you have to? Probably not, but life's like that, homies. It just is. And you should be double checking it anyway because you hope somebody else is checking your work.
Yeah.
Because that's how you keep mistakes from being shipped, which is something that, the software industry could learn about right now. It's having people double check their work.
Yeah.
So just saying. All right. So life doesn't always give us clean edges or easy choices, but the fact that you are trying, that you're asking the right questions means you've already doing the work. So let's take a breath together. We restore, step into the next chapter. For me and Lubby, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
I'm going to play that anyway. Do 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 do. Oh. Quieter.
Okay. Here we go.
And welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Jess. She's lovely, and love is tender, complicated, and often exhausting. It asks us to show up even when we're tired, to navigate boundaries we didn't expect, and to care for people while still trying to care for ourselves. Tonight, we're exploring the emotional weight of loving others, the doubts, the joys, the growing pains, and the moments that remind us why connection matters. This is the part of our night where we let our guard down and speak honestly about the apart. And before we do all of that, I'm going to do the most annoying thing on the planet and let you know you can please do the like, share, subscribe thing. Leave us a comment, suggestion. You can send us your own questions, comments, suggestions by sending an email to love@latenightLove.us, or you can just go to latenightLove.us and there's a comment form. I believe works if last time I checked. Yeah, works just fine. So, all right. So we are just going to dive right in. Oh, wait, before we start, we want to remind everybody that we can also be found at Love It Late Night at Live 36. No, I'm going to get this right on KUBU 965 on Live 365. And we now have an app. I think you can go to KUBU965.com and get all the information for that as well. And we really should cut up an episode for TV on these things and put ourselves on for TV. We can do it through your account. You can technically put this on TV if you want to. I just have to make an episode that we put on.
Yeah.
So,
well, we have one other announcement. We're not going to be here next week.
We may or may not.
Sunday. May or may not.
Yeah, we're driving back from LA from my granddaughter's quinceañera, talking about I'm old enough to have a 15-year-old
granddaughter.
Yeah, I know. That's
what are you going to do when she goes to college?
Same thing I'm doing when she's going to high school. I'm
showing up.
It doesn't change anything. Just makes me older. That's all I mean. I'm just getting old. I didn't need this to remind me, but yes, we're driving down to Southern California on Friday, driving back on Sunday. We'll be driving back during the Super Bowl, apparently.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you'll have the clear roads.
Probably not, but we'll be driving back. So it's a 7-hour, 8-hour drive, something like that.
I forgot. I forgot that was this week until.
I don't care all that much. I was just driving back during the Super Bowl. That's all. It'll be the last half of the 3 hours. I could catch it on. It left Summer Drive, and I could watch it on the phone. So
not like it's not going to be on the radio.
Yeah, well, if I needed to.
Yeah.
We have this thing called the internet, and I have a daughter who drives. So we'll just head it up so she drives the last half, and I can sit back, kick back in the back, and watch the.
Well, your vacation is just shaping up nicely, isn't it?
I've got a suite at the Holiday Inn Express. I've got it.
When's the last time we spent a couple days apart? Last summer.
Last time you went somewhere, yeah.
Last time I went, that was in September.
Yeah, it used to be when I would go camping or something, and now it's when you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But those are the things you do when you're navigating life.
And I have to. We're on the show, Late Night Love. I have to say, those times apart, they actually, I think they bring us closer. I miss you. I get to miss you, and I like that feeling of missing you.
I get to miss you. That's sure. Should I be worried? Do I need to start tasting my food for arsenic? Can I? Do I have to be careful with those?
No, I like missing you because I get to see you again.
Alrighty.
And you come home, and there's that joy and that boost of serotonin.
So, unlike crack, is what you're saying. All right, we've gone off the rails. So let's go ahead and get started because
Okay, now this poor guy. My wife admitted to me that she has quite an intense crush on her personal trainer. What's the next step? Dude, she loves you so much. She's enlisting you help in you're a partner in her fidelity. That's how she views you. She is telling you this to take the power out of it. It's not a secret. It takes she doesn't have a secret with you anymore. It breaks that tension in her. She's like, now I can just enjoy this. I got news for you. She's had a crush on other people before. She did but it wasn't intense. She didn't feel the need to enlist you, as her partner, to kick in that extra insurance for herself. It
Okay, the next step is to get her a new personal trainer.
yeah,
There's no other next step.
you can ask her.
No, she should be getting her own personal trainer. It shouldn't even be a question.
She should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't a question. Now, I do admire her. Say, look, I'm changing my personal trainer because, for whatever reason, and oftentimes it's the grass greener thing, right? Life is routine and a rut and
Mhm.
whatnot, and you get to go see this personal trainer a couple times a week, and for those couple hours, life is great. They're charming and you've got this similar goals apparently because you're both training and working out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the personal trainer, he's got a body like Adonis. Of course, it's attractive.
She's got all the pheromones running around
Yeah,
through
she's
the
38.
air.
She's 38.
She's at her sexual peak.
She's coming at this.
Yeah.
So I admire her for taking it head on, but the step is to get a new personal trainer.
Yeah.
She should probably be a woman just so she doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Just for herself, frankly, not even for you.
Yeah.
For herself. So there you go. Or maybe she's at the point where she doesn't need a personal trainer.
Who needs to deal with that shit?
Yeah.
I have to admit, one of the perks for me of being in a committed relationship is now I can go ahead and have relationships with the opposite sex and the same sex and it not be, I like to think it's not put into question, what's going on with that relationship. It's a mutual admiration society.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Nothing's going to happen. And there's a freedom in that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Okay. Now there may be a step 3. And we've talked about her step of changing personal trainers, and she's already taken the first step of admitting this. Next step is to change personal trainers. The third step is for him to start participating. There's something missing in your relationship that you need to add back.
Mm.
And so you can do everything else right, but if you don't do that third thing, you're going to end up with this situation again somewhere down the road somewhere else.
Okay.
So start being a little more agreeable on occasion. Be my suggestion. All right, you don't want to work out, so then you do something else that she wants to do, even if you don't want to. Shut up for 3 hours. It's you go to a movie and you shut up for 3 hours. You don't complain about it. Your thing is, it's not my kind of movie, but I enjoyed my time with you. That's it. That's
but I appreciate that. He understands that something needs to happen here. I mean, this is. You could view it as, I suppose you could view it as he views it as a red flag.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure out what the red flag is. And well, the red flag is she's still being honest with you. So that's not a red flag. It's kind of a yellow flag what she's honest to you about. And if she's not willing to change her personal trainer, that's a bigger red flag than anything else. So she should be changing her personal trainer. And then you need to start filling the relationship cup up somewhere. She's feeling drained, and it may be a temporary thing, but that means, so fix the actual problem so this doesn't happen again. So, but nothing has happened yet. So that's the nice part. Allegedly, we're assuming nothing has happened yet. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this poor lady. I don't know how to leave the house while also caring for my baby. She can't go grocery shopping. She sends the husband.
Okay.
She can take the baby for a walk around the block, but that's about it. Fresh air.
Yeah.
Baby's getting fresh air.
Okay.
but to go and do something with the baby?
Well, the world is dangerous. We understand the instinct, but here's what she has to understand: it's more dangerous not to. It's a different kind of danger. It's a danger put off, but it's still a danger. You could actually make an argument that for a lifetime, it's more of a danger.
What is the danger?
The danger is you're going to raise this child that is now overprotected, lives in a bubble, and then when you become adult and get let off in the world, they don't know how to cope. We see that around us today with the whole generation of people who were never allowed to manage their emotions properly. There was always somebody there to soothe them, to acquiesce them. You know, people like our generation, we could have emotions. It's nice to have them, but the world better not know it. You know, type of thing. We were half a step away from the children are to be seen, not heard, right?
We were.
We're just on the edge of that. You were closer to the edge of that than I was.
I was.
You know, I'm on one side of the edge, you're on the other side of the edge, but you know,
as a small child,
yeah,
you know, it was definitely, you know, seen and not heard. I was raised in a strict Southern Baptist family, you know, but then, you know, getting to be a teenager, the world was softening a little bit.
Yeah, but the benefit of that is that we had to learn to moderate our emotions.
Yes, we did. We kept our shut. We learned.
And okay, so we may not approve of the methods, but there was benefit to it. And
we were self-sufficient.
And something the kids that, you know, young people these days are lacking because they haven't had to.
Yeah.
They've always had someone else to manage conflict, you know. For us, the schoolyard playground, it was Lord of the Flies, right? That's where the teachers went off on their smoke breaks.
Oh man, it was those mean kids.
So you can survive that. You can navigate the world. You know? So yeah, I don't know. All right, so back to the actual question. We're way off the rails tonight.
Yeah, we are. Sorry,
we're all over the place tonight.
I think she could first start out by going to the grocery store with her baby and her husband. Tag team the baby.
I think
start getting used to being out in public with your baby.
Well, ultimately that's the thing, but she needs to deal with her own anxiety. What she's having is anxiety, and she's using the baby as a symbol of that. And so she needs to disconnect that baby from her anxiety. Okay. Your husband is perfectly capable of taking care of that baby while you go to the doctor, while you go to the grocery store for a little bit. You know, trust me, he is. He can manage.
He can.
I've been doing it for thousands of years. But this is also this is a tale as old as time, right? Where women are so afraid, and it's usually women because men have different sets of fears, who become so afraid of what could happen, and because life is scary, and you don't want to put your child at any risk at all. But what do you lose when you do that? So I think she needs to start with getting herself out the house by herself.
Okay.
She needs to go to the store. Take a walk down to the small neighborhood grocery store.
Here's an idea. Go to the library. Go out for coffee. Take a book.
I think she's going to need something she has to do. So one day, instead of your husband going to the grocery store, you go. It's perfectly fine. Your husband knows how to change diapers. He knows how to feed him with a bottle. That's all you're going to need to be able to do in the hour you're going to be gone.
Yeah.
You know,
perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Even if the baby cries for an hour, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
The baby needs to learn how to miss you.
Well, this is not about the baby. We've got to separate this problem from the baby because this is not a baby problem. This is
Oh, well, the baby will be fine.
this is
It's
a mother
her I'm
problem.
worried about.
So she needs to start getting out the house.
Yeah. Sorry.
She's the one who's afraid to leave. It's not about the baby. She's afraid to leave the house. And she's using the baby as an excuse. I've been there. She's afraid to leave the house. And so she needs to work on getting herself strong enough so she can leave the house.
And if you can't, you need to seek counseling. Because got to be able to get out of the house, hon.
Yeah, and the only reason she actually says it, she says she can get out the house and take her baby out for a walk around the block because it's the best thing she can manage to do for the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this ain't about the baby because she knows in her heart that the best thing for the baby is to get out more than just walk around the block.
Yeah. She knows.
She knows it.
Yeah.
So it's her.
Yeah.
This isn't about the baby. This is about her being afraid of going outside for lots of legitimate reasons. The world is a scary, dangerous place. It's been that way for thousands of years. And it's amazing any of us go out and interact with it at all. But yet we do.
We do.
Because we've got no other choice.
We could be the Krugs, live under a rock.
So what's she do? It's the same therapy. You slowly acclimate yourself to situations. Take the walk by yourself once.
Well, that's a good one.
Go to the store and come back.
That's how I started. I walked down to the little store a couple blocks away just to get candy bar, lollipop, something.
Yeah. And
then come back. It's just a straight shot down the street.
Now, I'm not opposed to using your child as a motivation to get you out. I did it. I went only buy 2 days worth of food for 2 reasons. One, my boys would eat it if you bought any more. They could seem to manage with 2 days worth of food if only eating 2 days worth of food. But if you bought like 5 days worth of food, they eat it in 2 days. And so I just buy 2 days worth of food. Saved me a fortune. So that got me to go to the store every other day. And so feeding my kids became the motivation to get me out to the store and making sure my daughter could come with me, and getting her out the house was because she has the same issues I do with anxiety. And so not letting that take hold, even at a 7-year-old, is,
Yeah.
So try to think long-term, try to think that this is not healthy for you or your baby long-term, and you've got to find a way out. So
Ask your husband for help. Talk to him about it.
yeah. You want people to, express their feelings to you. You've got to express it to them. And your husband is perfectly capable of taking care of that baby while you walk down to while you take a walk around the block.
Yeah.
Or go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or, you trust him with buying the food. You can trust him with watching that baby for an hour. He's got diapers in a bottle. He knows how to use them. And if he doesn't, he'll learn. We all have. Yeah, the diaper might not stay on, and it may make a mess first time or two, but so what?
I got news. He's not going to do it like you do it. And that's okay.
And you didn't always get those diapers on correctly the first few weeks, did you?
Yeah.
It's the repetitive thing that made you good at it.
Yeah.
So,
he needs repetition.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll guarantee you your first 5 diapers, 3 of them were crap. It's just because mine were. I learned there was a time where I could change a diaper without even looking. Right? You could do it sleep. You didn't care. You've done it so often. Of course, child 5, but that stage. I've been changing diapers for a decade. Of course I can change a diaper, in my sleep. Like asking a Marine if he can take apart his rifle. Of course he can. Okay. What is next?
Well, I got a win for us
All right.
here. Kid slept through the night for the first time in a year. He's a boy. He's 2.
Sweet. 2's a little long, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, he made it. See, so it actually ends. It does end for those of you out there listening. Up
Well,
late at night with your toddler, you know, this does end.
well, I don't know if I'd call it an end. It's a changing to something else. That particular thing changes, morphs into something else that will drive you crazy until it changes into something else. But
You're going to be going through a lot of changes over the next 18 years.
yeah, well, you got 16 until he's an adult, but yeah, it never ends. It never really
It
ends.
never really ends.
Yeah, you're always a parent.
I had a lady one time. She was dealing with a snippy 12-year-old, and she looks at me and she's like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, hey, this is normal. They do this. I have raised 3 girls. She goes, when do they get out of this? And I said, oh, 21, 22.
30.
And she looked at me and her mouth hung open. She missed her sweet little girl. And I felt so bad, sorry for her. I'm like, she's gone, but
No, they're not gone.
I didn't tell her that. You get snippets of it and it'll be back later. You're just stupid right now. You'll get smart again later.
Enjoy the snippets is what I always figured.
They're pretty smart. Some of them are pretty wicked.
Their base is still there, so it's still there.
And they trust you enough to hate you,
At least they feel something.
I know.
That's okay.
I'm on your radar.
All right. All right. What is next?
Oh, this one. My girlfriend has a book club with her ex. Only the 2 of them. Now, she's 31. He's 30.
Yeah.
That's not a book club, hun.
Well, it depends. I mean, I've seen stranger things, right? Where people who still liked each other, but they couldn't work as a relationship.
Yeah.
And they still have something that still holds them together, like reading of books. The new person doesn't really like to read books, right? It's not it's not a shared interest.
Yeah.
And so she keeps her shared interest going. Should you probably figure out at least a bigger group? Probably. And it depends how the book club functions. I suppose would be another thing. Is it a virtual book club?
No, they meet in person once a week.
More like at a bookstore?
No.
Well, see, those are the different. She should at least be respectful enough to, if you're going to do that, you meet at a coffee house or a bookstore or something like that.
Yeah.
Not just out of respect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Or you meet at, their house, and so it's where I don't know. I want to believe it's completely innocent, right? And just
when I first wrote this, I thought it was too.
I want to. I
want to. I really want to believe that this is, they didn't work as a couple, but they just have a shared interest in books. I love books, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, they're still, because you can be friends with an ex, right? It is possible.
She loves the way he thinks. It's an original view from hers.
Yeah, it's they had the one shared thing, the one thing they could share.
The one thing they could share.
They could share together. And she does, and you gotta get why she doesn't want to lose that, because she's got nothing to replace it with at the moment, or she believes she doesn't have anything to replace it with.
Yeah,
and that's the best reading of that. The other reading of that is they still haven't quite given up on each other, and doors are slightly ajar, even if they don't realize it. And then the worst reading of it is she's just making excuses so they can go do the dirty.
I know.
So, which one is it? I don't know. But how much?
Could join the book club.
You could. You could ask to and see what the reaction is.
That's a good one.
I suppose. I don't know. See, if you're gonna do that, then you might as well just end the relationship because you're even if
You're
you
not trusting her.
because the trust is broken, even if it's
Yeah.
not just because she doesn't have the respect to deal with it openly.
Mm,
Well, quasi openly, right?
mm.
I, there's no good answer here.
There isn't.
There isn't.
This is kind of wait and see.
Well, I'm not even sure you should wait and see. It's there's superficially there's nothing to confront her about because you already know that it's a book club between the two of them. It's not some hidden secret,
Yeah.
you know. Um, the nature of it, I suppose you could ask the nature of it to change. Could they meet at a
Could they meet at a
coffee
bookstore?
house or a bookstore
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
someplace like that? I suppose you could ask and see
Yeah.
what the response to that is.
Yeah.
That's the best answer I can come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. It really depends. If his instinct, here it is. Follow your instinct. If you think it's more than just a book club, then trust your instinct. If you think it's, just a book club that's, makes you uncomfortable because of course it does, well, then you deal with that instead.
Yeah.
So trust your
Okay.
instinct on this one.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good one.
That's what I'm going to go with.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. 22 months old. Doesn't want anyone in the same room while he eats today. Is this normal?
Well, the fact that he has goofy requirements for eating on different days, sure, that's
Yeah, it's perfectly normal.
what's not normal is for you to acquiesce to them. He's 22 months. Why the hell are you doing what a 22-month-old wants?
Toddlers are little dictators, man.
Only if you let them.
If you let them, yeah.
If you let them, they will be a little dictator. So the question is, it's good to want things. Builds character when you don't get it. And my kids hated that saying. Of course, they say it now to their kids.
They do, huh?
They do. They say lots of my sayings to their kids. I had good ones. You know this.
Yeah, I've heard about the fair speech.
Oh,
That's not fair.
yeah. That speech became famous in its effects because it's a 20-minute speech about life ain't fair. That was their punishment for saying something about life not being fair, was they had to listen to me rant about life not being fair for 20 minutes. And became a point where they wouldn't let anybody say life isn't fair around me. They didn't want to take the chance of that coming out. I didn't punish my kids the way other people did. I punished them with history lectures. That was their punishment. Keep them in line. Highly effective. There's a hint for raising kids out there. Learn history, and when your kids are misbehaving, teach it to them. They'll avoid that like the plague. But they learn it. So it has benefit. My daughter knew lots of history. So, all right. What's next?
How many hours a week should my 17-year-old work a week? Now he's about to turn 18.
Okay.
But he's still in high school right now. He's finishing up high school.
Okay.
But he's got a full-time job waiting for him. He's a wonderful employee. They just love him.
Okay.
But they're wanting to increase his hours a little bit right now, like to 30 hours a week.
He's 17. He takes as many as he can handle. Okay, look at this way. How many extra hours does someone who, say, plays on the football team or basketball team spend?
Yeah. Extra
hours, and then at home and whatnot. He's 17. If he wants to work it, he should work it. He's old enough to make his own decisions. So if he can deal with it, let him earn his money. You don't learn anything in the second half of your senior year anyway. You're just ticking boxes at that point. But you're passing senior English?
Yeah.
Some government history class. There's a handful of requirements that you wait hold off onto you until your senior year, so you have to go. That's it. So he's only got a couple of classes that actually matter. So let him work as much as he wants. He's 17. Let him try it and make sure that, say, hey, okay, you can try it out for a couple of weeks and see how it impacts your grades in your life. 17. The one thing I don't worry about 17-year-olds is, do they have enough time in the day? They're 17. They can only need 5 hours of sleep, and they can do that sleeping upside down on a park bench. They're 17. I remember 17. I could go to I couldn't go to school because I didn't go to school all day, but I could work 2 jobs at 17, all day, and then go party all night, sleep for 3 hours, and go do it again the next day. You're 17, right? What did you do at 17? You were in the Army.
I was.
So
I was kicking ass.
So you're not going to get much sympathy from this crew on that as a 17 doing too much.
And my sleep was disrupted by some Yahoo who, it's my turn on guard shift for 2 hours. I got to sit up and be frosty.
So yeah, they're not going to get. Your son isn't going to get a lot of sympathy from this crew because at 17.
Sorry.
At 17, we were busy working.
He's willing to do it. She's worried about him.
Yeah, as mothers would be.
Because he's looking at a solid start as an 18-year-old in a company full time.
Yeah, of course he is. He's looking to his future, and while she is too, she's his mother. She's looking out for different things than he is.
Yeah,
but we're going. He's 17. He's going to be 18. You let him run.
Let him do it. Yeah.
Make sure he knows that.
You do the mom thing. Make sure he eats. He does sleep. Yeah,
and offer that. Hey, try it out for a little bit first before you make the full commitment until you school, because it's a lot. School and 30 hours a week is a lot. That's a long commitment. So try it out for a week or two before you can make the full longer commitment till the end of school. Right?
Yeah. Tell him you'll give it a 2-week trial.
Yeah, and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parenting a teen loner help. He's 16. He's a gamer.
Yeah. He doesn't need your help. Let him be.
He has friends, hon.
His friends, he just interacts with his friends
differently
than you would expect.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When he has something, when there's Comic-Con in town and he wants to go, support that. Even if he wants to go cosplay as a stormtrooper or something goofy, right? You don't have to go buy him a whole stormtrooper outfit, but
he'll get his own.
But help him put it together.
Yeah.
And you can help him where you can. You don't have to do it for him, but you can support his interests. Let him know that who he is, because this is who he is okay. It's the same as if his interests were anything else.
Yeah. And he's 16. He's not going to be this way forever. He'll always be a gamer, though.
He might be, but it's all good. We'll find their way. Hey, one of my kids still works. Most of his job is computer work, working behind his desk at home, and then he games. And between raises his kids, but daughter. But yeah, essentially, on occasion, I guess he has to drive to a courthouse and pick up documents or stuff. But it's just not that big of a deal these days. The networking that we used to have to do face to face now doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't. The world has changed. It's their world is not the same.
Yeah,
as ours was.
No, and would it be better for him to have a handful of friends in the neighborhood that he can rely on? Sure, but those are often as much negative impacts on your life as positive. So, what you can just do, the best thing you can do is accept his nature and be there to support him when he can. Like you right, if he like the Comic-Con thing, if there's one in town, find out what he's interested in and support that. If it's got if he's big into a certain kind of game, you happen to see something cool, a little knickknack or something, buy it for him on occasion. Just say it was a cheap little knickknack. He'll appreciate the fact that you care about what he's doing.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a goofy, figurine.
So stop trying to get him to join your world and join his.
Well, you don't even have to necessarily join it. Just accept that it's his world. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Accept it, just like you would if he wanted to do cheerleading, right? You'd still accept it.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. If you're tired, if you're unsure, if you're trying to love people while also trying to love yourself, you are in the right place. That was a weird exit.
Let's keep going.
I get. Anyway, from me and Lovey, life is weird, and so are our exits. From me and Lovey, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
What's funny about that exit is I read the intros and they were weird, so I had it rewrite them.
Uh-huh.
But I had it rewrite the intros and the exits. And I only reread the intros and pasted the exits in anyway. So, those are better. And so I pasted in the new intros, and I didn't think to recheck the exits. The first one was fine. Yeah, that one was just weird.
That was weird.
And then I'm gonna have to piece those two together. The overall exits, I'm gonna have to change how we do those. But anyway, all right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Jazz. She's Lovey. And relationships are where our deepest insecurities and our deepest hopes collide. They reveal the parts of us we try to hide: the jealousy, the fear, the longing, the confusion, and they offer us a chance to grow if we're willing to look closely. In this segment, we are stepping into the conversations we don't always know how to start, the ones that sit quietly in the background of our lives. Let's talk about the truths we rarely say out loud and the healing that begins when we finally do. And thinking about begins when we finally do. You can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. And you can find us at latenightLove.us, all our back shows, if I ever catch up. And you can send us comment suggestions there. If you don't want to give us your email address, you can do it from there. All right. You can also find us on KBU 965 on Live 365. And we've got an app, so you can go to the KBU 965 whatever thing. I'll have to get a link for that. That's wordy. We're gonna have
figure something out there.
We have to figure something out. That's wordy. All right. So where are we starting with tonight, love?
Well, this young man. A girl asked me if I think she was cute. Now everybody sucks up to her. And a boy in their group broke up with his girlfriend just to go with this diva.
Yeah.
And he's just all overwhelmed.
Okay, here's the thing. If you don't want anything to do with her, and it seems to me like he doesn't, the answer is, I don't know. I'd never thought about it.
Ooh. Not her normal response.
Yeah. Never considered the question. Just leave it at that. And if she asks you to pressure, you say, I don't want to. You just, again, you give her the response she doesn't want, but you don't have to be rude about it. You're not telling her no, but you're also not going to give her the yes she wants. Don't play her game. The only way to win these kind of games is to not play.
Yeah.
You force them to play yours. And so
Yeah.
yours is not playing.
Yeah.
So there's no game to play. So don't do it. That's my suggestion. So, unless, of course, she's cute and you're trying to suck up to her like everybody else is. But it doesn't seem to me like that.
No, he has zero interest in her. He doesn't like her.
Yeah, then I've never contemplated that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, otherwise, even if you tell her no, I don't like your personality or whatever, then you're still thinking, you're sending the message that you're thinking about her anyway. So with this way, you're sending the message that she doesn't even cross your mind.
Burn.
That's the thing that's going to get her. She doesn't mind being hated. She kind of gets off on it. But got you. Now you're sending. You're not even worth a thought. So that's the message you want to send. And she wants you to think about it. Your answer is no. It's not. I've got better things to do. And you walk away. Okay.
Okay. My girlfriend got mad at me because I was in her part of town and didn't tell her. I don't know what to do next. Okay, she lives like 20 minutes away. He was in that part of town because he was hanging out with the boys. And she was like, well, you should have come and seen me when you were done with the boys.
No,
you were on my side of town.
Well, okay, but if she was over there hanging out with her and the boys obviously live over there too, so can't the boys say the same thing? He was hanging out with the boys, not with her.
I know.
So she's being a little bit unreasonable.
I think she is.
Just because she's in the neighborhood, he's in the
I
neighborhood.
know. Doesn't mean he should stop by. Where does she get this? Is that a family thing?
It might be.
Some families are like that.
And I wonder if this is one of those things where he couldn't lose, right? If he's out there hanging out with the boys and he wants to swing by on the way home, and now all of a sudden he's in trouble because he's an afterthought. It's all I'm worth to you is a few minutes on your way home, and so I don't know. Why I got the feeling she's a real peach. And
I'd want to date her. Definitely.
She probably has many wonderful qualities, but she's a little clingy.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? You decide where your boundaries in your relationship are. That's what you do. If this is this be a hard boundary. If she can't deal with it, she's 36. She should be mature enough to understand that not everything's about her.
Yeah.
But also maybe she says, okay, I prefer 15 minutes. Just swing by and say hello. And that side of town can mean one thing. It could be 10 minutes away in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those things. It's where you set boundaries and you see how your partner reacts to those boundaries. And
you get to then find out if you want her to be a wife.
Yeah. This is where you found out how long-term this relationship is.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a compromise, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she did just want you to come by, say hello, give a hug, and go home.
Yeah.
And all right, I can do that. I'll spend 10-minute drive to do that. Not a big deal. But, be clear about what your expectations are.
One time you drove half an hour just to tuck me in at night because I wanted you to tuck me in.
Yeah, man. We'll do those things.
But we were 2 weeks into our relationship.
I do that today.
I know.
What's I got to do with anything? Well, it depends. If it was safe. If I'm like overly tired or something, I probably wouldn't.
I know.
But generally speaking,
I wouldn't want you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't respect him when he's sick. He's a big baby.
Well, if you don't respect him at his worst, then do you actually respect him? Aren't we allowed to have our worst days?
He's sick. I know. He's a whiner. Men whine. They get vocal all of a sudden. Then they talk about their feelings when they're sick. I don't get that. But this is just the way they are,
Yeah, Well,
We have our things too. Hello.
you'd rather have us be this way when we're sick than the rest of the time. If you can't put us up with that when we're sick, how are you going to put up with all the stuff we don't talk to you about?
I know. Let him be sick.
Yeah. The nice thing is he's sick. You can just ignore most of it.
But the thing was, she was sick too, so it like ultra irritated her.
Well,
you
yeah,
know.
welcome to relationships. That's just, here's the thing. All right, here's
you know,
how
when we're both, you know what we do when we're both sick at the same time? We leave each other alone.
I'm sick today. So am I. So we're on our own then. Yep. Okay. Love you. Check you in a couple hours. That's what we literally do.
Literally.
Oh, so we're on our own today then. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. We're all good because tomorrow will be different. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just a day.
You know, when you have a long-term relationship, a day doesn't matter.
No.
And so, yeah, I would. So here's my question. Who's actually being the big baby?
Ooh, burn.
Well, I'm not trying to burn anybody. I'm just saying, let the man be sick for a day.
Yeah. Why can't he be sick? Why does he have to just be the man, all masculine 24/7? He's not a machine. Knock it off.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you really can't take it, go to the movies.
Go visit your mom.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't care. He's sick. He doesn't really care.
No.
He just wants to die. He doesn't need anybody to see him die. But he'll whine about it if you are there. So, yeah, it's the one time we get to whine. It's the one time we allow ourselves to whine.
I know.
So,
yeah,
when we're just,
let him whine.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice, but why do I get the feeling she's one of these people who she's kind of the reason men are the way we are. We're supposed to be vulnerable, but anytime we show vulnerability at all, we get this. And if we can't be human when we're sick, how can we be human any other time?
Yeah.
And so I want to be kind to her, but at the same time, she's not being kind.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily, you can't always manage your reactions, right? Your reactions are going to be what they're going to be, but you can manage what you're going to do with those.
Keep your yap shut.
Yeah. Go to the movies if it really bothers you that much, right? Get out the house. But yeah, shut up would be my big suggestion.
Turn on a movie and tune in.
Yeah. Let him be sick.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, now we're on to our intimacy questions. Okay, this guy, poor guy.
Uh-huh.
So he has an orgasm.
Uh-huh.
And he has low energy for 3 days. It messes he says it messes with his life.
Hey, if that is actually true, you need to see a doctor.
You really do, dude, because
okay, low energy for the next half hour, sure.
Yeah.
But 3 days, no, that's something else.
Yeah.
Now you may notice, and if there is a connection, then that's a medical issue you need to be all dealt with. Would be my guess.
I think so.
But who knows? Maybe that you've got some strange chemical hormone imbalance or something. And so you're getting
that still needs to be addressed.
Yeah. And so figure that one out. That's a medical issue to figure out. Don't go posting that on Reddit. You go post that to your doctor.
Yeah.
You knucklehead.
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay.
How can I work on getting over the stigma of stuff relating to sex? She's a virgin. She's 19. Now, I'm not sure. She didn't go into the stigma, what the stigma was, but she's, I get the feeling that she, it's dirty.
Well, yeah, you can pick whatever culture. There's lots of cultures that have negative stigmas over sex. If not necessarily dirty, it could just be, loose women type of thing.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards could be social stigma she's talking about. It could be, specific fantasies type thing she's got that she's thinking about that have some stigma attached to them, and on and on and on. Or just the normal uncertainty that virgins have, from being a virgin. She could be feeling the stigma, that there's a stigma attached to something that no one cares about.
No one cares.
But for them, it's huge,
Yeah. Yeah.
So how can you work? Here's the thing. There's no real way to work on getting over it. Not from what I suspect, what she's really feeling is the anxiety of being a virgin and having to, navigate all that stuff as she's moving forward. And the reality is, you can educate yourself to the point of paralysis by analysis,
Ooh,
where you're
yeah.
overthinking it.
Yeah.
And it's something that's so base human, you don't really need to think about it that much. You can overthink this into oblivion. And so my guess is that's kind of what's happening here.
Yeah.
And so, don't worry about it until you need to. And then nature takes care of itself.
Is someone knocking on your door? I mean, what's going on?
Now, maybe she's feeling amorous and she has no partner.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to deal with the stigma of, okay, I want to be active without having a long-term partner. And that's a different stigma. And that's a stigma that comes from yourself, your culture, how you're raised. And you either deal with side one way or the other. And my suspicion is just don't deal with it.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your rush?
Yeah, there is no rush.
You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. I mean, you're 19. Literally still a teenager.
You can practice on yourself.
You can get to know yourself.
And at least that way you know your own body and how
and
how you respond to certain things. If you are feeling amorous and exploratory.
What you like.
Yeah. If you're feeling exploratory, you can explore yourself. There's that option.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's one of these things she just wants to kind of get it over with.
At this point.
At this point,
yeah.
She may just want to. Then you find somebody who just outside your friend circle who you find mildly attractive, and you come knock one out. You're a woman. You can get almost anybody.
You really can. All you have to do is ask.
Who's not attached. You don't want to get someone in your friend circle. You want to get someone just outside of it.
Just outside.
So they're still, so they're not a complete stranger, but they're not someone who's important in your life.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to say disposable, but
you can put them right back into their spot.
Yeah.
Social spot when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still you still talk to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my suggested path, but if you're stuck in paralysis by analysis, I can get it. Just go pop the seal, so to speak, and move on.
Pick someone nice. You'll remember it forever.
Yeah. Well, there is that, right?
Yeah.
You could hire a professional, I suppose.
Oh, you.
Well, it has happened many a times in past.
I know.
So. Yeah.
No, it should be special.
It should be, but how often is it? How often? It's special, all right.
Now that I think of all the first times I've heard about, not a whole lot of them are special.
Well, no crap, because you don't know what the hell you're doing, or it's in the back seat of a Dodge or something,
Hey man, it was a Cobra.
See, I rest my case. It's even worse.
Oh man, it was so uncomfortable.
Like I said,
I still remember that the seat rest going into my head.
See,
that was 15.
Okay.
That's been almost 50 years. I still remember it.
Like we said, yeah. So be careful,
Yeah.
because good, bad, or different, it's gonna stick with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, this is an uncommon problem.
Okay.
Husband initiates but denies all my advances. Is he stuck in the it's got to be
Well,
male driven or something?
it may be he just doesn't know what to do with it. It may be he's not noticing. You know, things that you think are signs, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Now that's probably what is happening.
It could be, but I'm flirting with him and he doesn't know. 'Cause he's an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
Because he's
She kissed him.
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. Uh, how obvious were her advances?
Well, she didn't really say.
I mean, is she grabbing his private parts and saying, "Let's go to the bedroom"?
Because that's what it's going to take.
You may need a sign,
Literally.
quite literally. You may need a sign, or it may just. He may be of that. We don't know the ages, right? So he may be of the culture where he just literally doesn't know what to do with that, and so it essentially his brain shorts out. He doesn't respond because he doesn't know how.
He doesn't know how to be passive.
Yeah. Doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to accept that because it's not something.
Foreign.
Yeah, completely foreign.
Yeah.
Not just from his life experience, but from his cultural experience.
Culture. Yeah.
Cultural experience. It's just completely out there.
Yeah.
And so the only way to break that is to be painfully obvious. So take that with what you will. Now, you could help break that, I suppose, if you wanted to get all modern, and depending upon the age, you may want to. If they're under 40, you could actually do this, and you say, "Hey, so you have difficulty accepting my advances," and sometimes you can dispower that by simply acknowledging that's what's happening.
Okay.
Because he might not even realize it. We're stupid that way.
And he just may say, "When did you do that?"
And he's got a chance to say, "Yeah, I don't know why I do that." He may not understand why he does that.
Okay.
He may not even understand he's doing it, but more likely he understand it happens and he just doesn't understand why. I freeze up. I don't know what to do. I mean, she may have colossally bad timing, type of thing. But I suspect he just doesn't know what to do with it. And so what happens, it's like a computer program gets instructions that it's never seen before. It freezes. It just sits there. My programming isn't built for this. I don't know what to do. Gets the blue screen of death, and now you've got a frustrated wife. Rightly so, right? Rightly so. And so how do you deal with this is you figure out what the problem is or retrain his instructions.
Okay.
Or you figure out a way to flip the script so you can send him the sign so he knows it's okay to initiate, and then he gets a higher batting average and you get what you want.
He gets a higher batting average.
It was a short way to say it. Come on.
He gets to sit on the font of love.
That's part of the problem with men having to be the initiator all the time, right? Is you're going to get rejected on occasion. And the more often you try, the more often you get rejected. Your batting average goes down. Well, if you've got someone who's telling you that a curveball is coming, you can hit that curveball more often.
I love your analogies.
So you get a better batting average. Okay, it's a little crude, but everybody got it.
It's America, damn it.
All right. We got the last question of the night.
Last question.
And this nonsense. Okay.
How do you talk about sex with a partner who has difficulty talking about it? Now, he's a 28-year-old male. but he didn't say how old she's a female.
Okay.
She won't talk about it.
Because she has no experience talking about it.
Uh,
It was taboo in her family, right? It was something they didn't talk about.
Mhm.
So she has no idea how. Again, go back to they don't know how.
Mhm.
And so what do you do when you don't know how to do something? You don't want to admit to somebody you don't know how to do something simple as talk about sex. So you don't do it. You find an excuse not to do it.
Mhm.
It's human.
Mhm.
If you haven't done it, you're not human,
Mhm.
quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you make it as easy as possible by dividing it into small discussions.
Okay.
You start with small, limited discussion. Hey, 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Anybody can have a conversation about anything for 5 minutes, as long as they know it's going to end.
Yeah.
And so you start there, because this is a long-term relationship. You don't have to have the whole discussion in a day.
Yeah.
You've got a long time.
Yeah.
There's no hurry. So start with 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And so it's your job. Okay, so what's the best 5-minute conversation I can have to start this ball rolling? You don't want to jump into the deep end, because then she's not going to want to have a conversation. Okay, so maybe you start laying the ground rules of how to have these discussions.
Mhm.
So you've given her time. So next week you have another 5-minute discussion. Then the week after that, it's a 10-minute discussion.
Mhm.
Not because you said it's going to be a 10-minute discussion, just because your 5-minute discussion naturally turned into a 10-minute discussion,
Yeah.
because she's comfortable now. And over time, we'll be able to have actually deep conversations. But you're not going to start deep, right? You're going to start superficial.
Yeah.
You're going to start with the framework of how to have these discussions. You're going to start with, hey, I know you're not experienced on this, so we're just going to make it up as we go. And you start superficial. And as you build trust and endurance, then you can start having more deep conversations. Same way you do anything.
Yeah.
It's not an emergency, so you don't have to go through it quickly, right?
Mhm.
So then don't. It's my suggestion.
I think that's a wonderful suggestion.
I think oftentimes we want to sit down and have this.
Yeah. Well, everything was so built up. We have, then the floodgates open, and then there's just this rush.
And then your partner's sitting there trying to drink from a freaking fire hydrant, right? And it's like it's not possible for them to get where you are, because it's coming at them fast.
Yeah.
So okay, so put a hose on there with a little nozzle, and you can dribble it out. And next thing you know, you've gotten, in 6 months, you can now have open, free flowing conversations, because you've built the long-term trust and the boundaries and how to have the discussions.
Mhm.
I think one of the things we as partners don't do is we don't actually discuss how to have discussions. We never even did. We kind of figured it out, but
Yeah.
we never sat down and said, okay, how do we have discussions? We did eventually sit down and figure out how to have arguments.
Yes, we did. We
So-
figured out how to have arguments
So we sat down.
pretty early
We
on.
sat down and figured that one out. So, a lot of people don't do that. They don't take the time to sit down and say, okay, how do we deal with these things?
Mhm.
What's the framework we're both going to work from? We can renegotiate it later if we need to.
Yeah.
But where are we going to start with? And so, yeah, it's time to do that. That's my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion.
All right. So relationships are where our deepest insecurities show up and where our deepest healing can happen. You are not alone in any of this. So we're going to close the night together. For me and Lubby, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.